are you? We'll chant from the beginning of third chapter. Om Shri Paramatmani Namaha. Atha Tritiyodhyayah. Arjuna Uvacha. Jayasi Chet Karmanaste. Mata Buddhir Janardana. Tat Kim Karmani Ghore Mam. Niyojayasi Keshava. Vyamishreneva Vakyena. Buddhim mohayasi vame. Tadekam vadanishchitya. Yena shreyo hamapnuyam. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Lokesmin dvividha nishtha. Pura prokta maya nagha. Jnana yogena sankhyanam. Karma yogena yoginam. Na karmanam anarambhat. Naishkarmyam purushoshnute. Na cha sanyasanadeva. Siddhim samadhigacchati. So after listening to Bhagwan's discourse or talk or his message from the second chapter, Arjuna got this doubt that if karma is inferior or knowledge is superior to karma, ultimately if we have to gain knowledge, we have to transcend all karma, because that Atma is free from the sense of doership as well as enjoyership. Atma is neither the doer nor the enjoyer. Ultimately, if we have to gain abidance in that Atma, then why perform this action? So why you are propelling me into this action? Why not directly follow the path of knowledge and gain abidance in the self? So that is Arjuna's question. He says that it appears as though you are using contradictory statements. One way you say that you perform action, and then you also say that one should renounce all action and gain abidance in the self, gain that self-knowledge. Astita prajna one should become. So both these are two contradictory things. One person at the same time cannot follow both. One person at the same time cannot follow the path of karma and path of knowledge. So please tell me what is good for me. Tad ekam vada nishchitya. Tell me one clearly which I can follow and attain shreya, welfare. So Bhagwan again repeats, he says that I have declared before, and even before when the creation happens, through the Vedas, I have declared this twofold path. One is path of action and path of knowledge. Path of action is meant for all beings, human beings, who are in a state of ignorance who are not aware of their own self. So one has to keep on doing karma, the good karmas, free from all papa. One should keep on doing the punya karma, dharmic karma. So this path is being revealed, and once the person becomes fit, can then gain that knowledge and abidance in the self. So this is a twofold path. One has to go through that first path in order to reach the second level. There are people who are born with purity of their mind. Maybe they have followed this path in the previous their life, so they can directly take up the second path. But those who are not yet ready, those whose minds are not prepared or not ready, they have to follow the path of karma. And again, Bhagavan tells Arjuna that for you, karma yoga is the path. Karmanyeva adhikaraste, kuru karmaeva tasmat tvam, you do karma. Keep on telling him. Though he talks about jnana, though he talks about the supreme state of enlightenment, it is a goal which is shown to Arjuna. So though we walk this path of karma yoga, we should be aware of the ultimate goal, because the karma yoga will lead us to that goal, not directly, but by preparing us. So we should be aware of that goal. So to make us aware of the goal, Bhagavan talks about it. But if we are not ready, then we have to follow the path of karma yoga. 99.9% people, actually seekers, are at that stage wherein we have to follow this path of karma yoga. And by just doing this karma yoga, following it slowly and steadily, the mind will become pure, and automatically we will glide into the next stage. It's like the escalators, whatever. So when you step on that first step, automatically you reach the second step, third step, fourth step, and you reach the ultimate. Difficult tongue twister actually. Very difficult. I should find some other example. Maybe the lift is better example. You start from the ground floor, automatically you reach the top. And there are some lifts so moves with such speed that you never know. You just reach the top within no time. So similarly, if we follow sincerely the path of karma yoga, automatically the mind will become pure. And when the mind becomes pure, jidnyasa will arise in our heart. We will automatically gain that desire to know ourselves. Who am I? What is this world? Who is God? What is bondage? What is liberation? We will strive, we will inquire and understand this self. And once that is understood, we can meditate. After gaining that proper knowledge, we then have to meditate. So that is the next path. So Bhagavan says this twofold path I have shown for the jnanis, jnana yoga and karma yoga. For those who are ready, wise, purified mind, having knowledge, for them this jnana nishtha through jnana yoga, and for others this karma yoga. But why not just not do any karmas? What will happen? Can't we reach that state of enlightenment by not doing anything, just sitting quietly with our eyes closed, trying to meditate? Or if we take sannyas, if we just renounce everything. So not performing our daily duties, or by renouncing everything, Bhagavan says we cannot attain the supreme. Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute na cha sanyasanadeva. Just by renouncing all these karmas, we cannot attain that state of enlightenment. Suppose a great jnani is there who is sitting without doing anything, his mind is absolutely calm and quiet and peaceful. If we also try not to do anything and just sit quietly, we will not reach that state. So that is why we can't reach it. Bhagavan explains it in this now 5th verse. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karma krita karyate hyavashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita. Bhagavan says, an ignorant person is bound to this prakriti. An ignorant person is bound to prakriti and the gunas of this prakriti. Sattva gun, rajo gun, tamo gun. See, the entire world is expression of product of prakriti. Prakriti is Bhagavan Shakti only. Not only that, but our mind, our body, our senses, all of them are made up of prakriti. The equipment which we are using is made up of prakriti. And we have been identifying with these equipments from beginningless time. The I, the jiva, is connected to my pranas and my antakarana, indriyas and all, from beginningless time. So this connection is there because of avidya. Not knowing myself as different from this equipment, I am thinking I am them. I am the mind, I am the intellect. This is the thing which is going on from beginningless time. So the jiva is connected to his equipment, is born with this ignorance. So therefore, we are under the sway of this prakriti, that even if we decide not to do anything, the prakriti will force us to do. There is no escape. It's like somebody is sitting on a giant wheel. So even though you don't want to go round and round, but if you are sitting there, you are forced to go. You are bound to go. Similarly, we are bound in this prakriti at moment from beginningless time. And unless we release ourselves from this prakriti through proper knowledge and through that gaining that abidance in the self, it is not possible by forcefully, if we try to stop action, it is not possible. That is not how it works. It's like suppose my body itself, if suppose it gets some temperature and fever, just by saying, oh, I should renounce this fever should not be there, it will not work. It follows its own rules and regulation. I have to take the appropriate medicine in order to become free of this fever. Similarly, if everyone is caught up in this prakriti, so Bhagavan says, nahi kaschik kshanam api, that even for a second, jatu tishtati akarma kruta, one can remain without performing any action. Even for a second, one cannot keep the mind quiet, one cannot keep the body stable, one cannot keep the breath, etc. from moving, one cannot keep this prakriti still even for a second. The very nature of the prakriti is to move, and we are identified with this prakriti, so we experience ourselves moving, acting, changing constantly. So Bhagavan says it is not possible. Even if you try to renounce everything, all actions and sit quietly, you are forced to, you will be forced to act. That's what happens actually. Many people then feel frustrated. Actually, this meditation is a path of frustration for many. Because it's like a comic thing. Because when we are not ready for it, we try to, the maximum we can do is learn some Padmasana and all and sit. Hand breathing and all, some breath control and something we can do. But what to do with this mind? Mind doesn't listen to you. Your thoughts doesn't listen to you. Your emotions are not under our control. They keep on rising. Just by saying that, oh, I will try to keep quiet and all, it will not work. It doesn't work like that. The Prakriti actually is Bhagavan's Prakriti. It is not under our control. It is under his control. We think it is under our control. We think it is listening to us. It is not listening to us. It is Bhagavan's Prakriti only. So it works according to its own laws and rules and regulation. So nahi kaschik kshanam api. Forget about for a long time. Even for a short moment, Bhagavan says you will not be able to remain without performing action. Why? Who will force me to act? He says, karyate hi avashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. The gunas born from Prakriti will force you to act. Means Prakriti will act and we are already identified with the Prakriti. And we think we are acting. So the action will forcefully happen. Karyate hi avasha. Avasha means without our control, forcefully. Karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. So this Prakriti has got these three gunas, Sattva gun, Rajogun and Tamogun. The Tamogun is inertia, Jadatva, inertia. Rajogun is activity. And Sattva gun is calmness, knowledge. The expression of Sattva gun is knowledge and purity. The expression of Rajogun is activity and desires. And the expression of Tamogun is sleep, laziness, forgetfulness. These three gunas are there in the body. They are there in the senses. They are there in the mind. They are there in the intellect. They are there for everyone. For the Devatas also, for the Asuras also, for human beings, animal, birds, plant, all beings have this, their equipments have these three gunas in different proportion, but these gunas are there. And whenever these gunas arise, they keep on rising depending on our own karma. So whenever any guna comes, we are forced to follow that. It's like, just to give example, like Tamogun. When the Tamogun comes, what comes? Nidra comes. We cannot do anything. We might try to remain awake for some time. But after some time, the whole power of that Prakriti will force us to go into sleep. Similarly, when Rajogun arises, desire arises. Kamna, then Krodha, Lobha, Moha, what you call pride, Garva, so many things arises and we are forced into that particular mode. And again, by chance, through karma, Sattva gun also arises and we go into that mood. So they keep on fluctuating, these three gunas, and along with them, we also keep fluctuating. Not the jnani. The jnani becomes free of these gunas. Gunair yo na vichalyate. Later on, Bhagavan will say, the jnani is free from, because he has dropped his identification. He knows that I am not this body. He is established in the self. But ajnani is established in the body. He is there, identified with the body, mind, equipments. So, karyate hi avashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunai. Therefore, hey Arjuna, just by renouncing action, by taking sannyas, by not performing all your action, but just renouncing everything, you will not reach that state of naishkarmya. Okay, not renouncing, but what if I don't do my regular duties and all? What I drop all my regular karmas which are mentioned? Just चुपचाप कहीं पर मैं बैठूंगा. I will not do my daily duties. Because all karmas when we do, it creates samskar. And those samskar becomes our vasanas and they force us into more and more action. So why perform this action? Just remain like a lazy person. Okay, if I was forced to act, then I will become lazy, or I will just do whatever simple thing comes to me, but not do my regular duties. How about that? Will that happen? Bhagavan says, बताता हूँ. I will tell you. He says in the next verse, कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारस्य उच्यते कर्मेन्द्रियाणि मनसा. हाँ, कर्मेंद्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्. Bhagavan says, if you try to control your karmendriyas, because ultimately the action happens externally through our karmendriyas, our hands, our legs, our speech, organ of excretion, urination. So if I forcefully control all these karmendriyas and remain seated at one place, karmendriyani sayyamya ya aste manasa smaran, but mind we cannot control. We can control to a certain extent our organs of action, but the mind is such that we cannot hold it. Mind is very subtle. And unless we understand, study the mind, understand how it works, we will not be able to control it, because it has got its own way of working. Like our mobile, we should know how to switch it off, because just by keeping quiet or holding on to it, it will not stop making noise. We should know exactly where is that switch, what we should do, because it functions according to its own mechanism. Similarly, the mind is subtle, it functions according to its own mechanism. It thinks, the thoughts come in the mind. Why? Because from the samskar, from our vasanas. Even doing nothing, just sitting quietly, thoughts keep on coming. Even when there is no work, nothing, there is no duties there, just you are sitting, thoughts keep on coming. From where they come? From that samskar. Also, if I keep looking at this world, everything I see creates a gives a what you call some sort of input, and some memories get activated. So externally also, there is some thing which gives rise to these thoughts, and internally also these thoughts keep coming. So something of the world outside triggers this thought, and something from within triggers these thoughts. Even though you close your eyes and sit for meditation and no disturbance, but from within the disturbance can come. Or if the eyes are open looking at the world, something what you see can trigger those thoughts. So even when I have control all my senses, karmendriyas, if I sit and if I allow the mind to continue to think, ya aste, he who remains like that, constantly thinking with his mind. What is he thinking? Indriyarthan. He thinks about the objects of the senses. He thinks about all. He is forcefully controlling the action, but he is continue to act in his mind, continue to think about the objects, continue to imagine experiencing those objects. Man mein he eats, drinks, walks, talks, interacts with people, everything one does in the mind itself. So will he be considered a great jnani or a dhyani? Bhagavan says no. He is called vimodhatma. Such a person is called a foolish person only. Just by controlling our outer senses, but if the mind is running wild, if there is no control over the mind, and the mind continues to think about those objects, Bhagavan says he is a foolish person, and this activity of his is mithyacharaha, is a vainful activity, hypocritical activity, wasteful activity, which will not lead to any spiritual progress. It will create more and more frustration, more and more confusion in his mind. This is not the way to do the sadhana. This is not the way to walk the path of spirituality. Sometimes we get excited, we get an attack of spirituality, we read something, or we attend some satsang and all, thoda sa inspiration aa jata hai. That okay, I will also do like that. I can also become like great Mahatma and just sit there. We read about them, that Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi sat somewhere and attained that state. I can also do. Gautam Buddha sat under that tree. We go to the same tree and try to sit there. Yeah? Veda Vyasji sat in that guha, so I will also try to sit in that. But वैसा नहीं चलता है काम. Because I can imitate them physically only, not at the internal level. That example also I give, in your mobile that chip is there, that same card. Suppose you take another plastic of the same size, shape and all. There are now different shapes are there, nano and all. So if you take of the same shape and choose from the poster color, the exact color, and try to make the same design, exact, and then use it in your mobile, will it work? See, everyone says no. You are so sure. But that is what we do. When we imitate great Mahatmas, we just try to imitate their physical body. We try to just do something which they might have written somewhere. That way it will not work. Bhagavan says such a person is mithyachari. So karmendriyani sayyamya, just by restraining your physical body, your speech, and just sitting at one place forcefully. But if the mind is not under control, mind runs wild, then this is a fruitless activity, vainful activity, hypocritical activity. It will not help you in any way. So by taking sannyas or by not performing action, we cannot reach that state of enlightenment. So these two shlokas, Bhagavan has explained this. So what should we do? What is the solution? What should we do to attain that state of enlightenment? What is the path? He says, Yastvendriyani manasa niyamyarabhaterjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asaktas savishishyate yastvendriyani manasa niyamyarabhate Arjuna. Instead of forcefully controlling the external sense organ, what is required is we should first try to bring the mind under our control through proper sadhana. Yeah? And Bhagavan says, Yastu indriyani manasa niyamya. So, having controlled these indriyas with the help of the mind, what we have to do, the controlled indriyas should be engaged in action. The indriyas are just controlled from running wild, but they are again engaged into action. They are made to work in a particular way. Not just controlling and sitting and trying to meditate, but controlling these wild senses with proper understanding. Manasa means with the mind, means with the proper understanding the senses are controlled, and karmendriye karma yogam asaktasya vishishyate niyamya arabhate Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, by controlling the senses, they are engaged in karma with the attitude of karma yoga. Karmendriya hi karma yogam arabhate, one who follows this path of karma yoga with all the karmendriyas, asaktaha, remaining unattached, without getting attached to the karma or the karma phala. We should learn to perform karma without expectation. That is karma yoga, fulfilling our duties without expectation. Expectation means without having that anxiety for the result and all. One should just do what my duties are. So, yastvendriyani manasa niyamya arabhate Arjuna karmendriyaihi karma yogam asaktaha savishishyate. Such a person excels. So, rather than forcefully sitting at one place, not doing anything, Bhagavan says, you control your senses and do your work. Do your duties. Fulfill whatever karmas are there. But with the attitude of karma yoga. Karma yoga what? Dedicate these actions to a higher goal and higher ideal, to God. So what will happen? We are giving a direction, we are giving an outlet for the energy which is there in our mind. That energy, if you try to stop it, it will not work. It should be given some outlet. And it outlet has to be given through our actions only. See, when a desire arises in your mind, for example, suppose, and it happens during meditation, when we try to meditate and all, you feel a strong sense of the scratching sense. You feel like scratching your head, let us say. When I give example, many people start scratching also. But what to do, that is how it is. So, that feeling comes and it becomes stronger and stronger. You cannot suppress it. So, the only thing is you scratch. Then kya hota hai? That energy which is there, I want to scratch my head, that energy gets an outlet. Just an example. Similarly, lots of this energy is there within us. They have to be given outlet. And that outlet is our nitya naimittik karma, our duties. Because that energy has to be expressed. If it is not expressed properly, then it can lead to suppression, it can lead to frustration and so many other problems. They have to be expressed. Like Arjuna, Kshatriya energy is there. If he tries to suppress all this, he will go and go to the Himalayas, he will cut all the trees. Therefore, actually all the trees are cut because such people go there. So that energy is there, it has to be given an outlet. So, Indriyani manasa niyamya. So try to control all your senses, not only the organs of action, but organs of perception. All of them should be properly controlled through our mind, and such controlled organs, senses are engaged into action. Because the action also should be done with full attention, full awareness. Then all the energy gets properly expressed through that action. You feel great sense of joy and peace. So when a person continuously does like that, all that energy which is there within us, which we are carrying from our past lives, which have not been given proper outlet, it goes away and one starts feeling more and more calm and peaceful. That is the idea behind it. So karmendriyehi karma yogam asaktaha savishishyate, remaining unattached to the action, unattached to the result of action. The whole attention is on performing the work to the best of our ability and dedicating it to Ishvara. So what type of work are you talking about, which we have to perform? Not all work, a specific type of work. That is now is said in the next verse. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajjayo hyakarmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasiddheda karmanaha niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajjayo hyakarmanaha. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Niyat karma. Niyat karma means obligatory duties. See, there are these four purusharthas we have: dharma, artha, kama and moksha. This artha and kama, we perform action to fulfill our artha and kama in this world, so that we take care of our body, we take care of our family, we have pleasures in this world. Apart from this artha and kama, the scriptures also talk about dharma. And in dharma there are those actions which gives punya, and we can attain svarga or some higher lokas. But in dharma there are actions mentioned which doesn't have a particular result. They have to be performed just to please Ishvara. There are some actions which have a result in mind. You do this putra kameshti yajna for putra, or some yajna for vrishti, for rain, or to go to svarga. That is one thing. But there are certain actions mentioned in the scriptures you just perform for the love of God. For example, three types of action are mentioned: yajna, dana and tapa. Yajna, dana, tapak karma. One yajna is that you invoke in the fire the devatas and offer ahuti. That is one yajna. But very simple yajna, Bhagavan says, which everyone can do, is called Japa Yajna. Chanting Bhagwan's name, that is also Yajna. Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. In 10th chapter, Bhagwan will say, out of all the yajnas, because so many yajnas are there, you have to invoke what you call, prepare the whole thing, yajna kunda, then bring the samugri, then chant the mantras, and you have to pour the ahutis at the right time. A lot of effort and lot of knowledge is required. But most simple yajna is japa yajna, just taking Bhagwan's name. Ram, Ram, Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. So that is one yajna, taking Bhagwan's name. One karma. Then yajna दान. कि जो कुछ भी आपके पास है, you share it with others around you. Suppose I have something with me, I should share it with others. According to my, according to using my own common sense. For right patra at the right time, in the right way. Not that at the wrong time, wrong place and all. Two friends were going to the forest and suddenly they were caught by some robbers. कि कितना पैसा है सब निकालो. So one fellow removed some paisa. He said, just hold on a second. Achha, he told his friend that I had borrowed 5,000 rupees from you. You take this. हमारा हिसाब पक्का हो गया. At the right time, with the right attitude and all, dana. This is also for the love of God, not for gaining some Swargalok, or not for gaining some status in the world that I am a great Danveer or something, but just for the love of God, because all of us are Bhagwan's children, so out of great love that I am sharing it with others, other children, other my brothers, sisters. Just like in a family, children are there, and the children, they share with each other. They belong to the same parents, so they share. Similarly, all of us belong to one parent only, God. Not only human beings, animal, birds, plant. So whatever we have, we share it with everyone else. That's called dana. And why we do it? Is for the love of God. Why we chant His name? For the love of God. Not to gain anything. Kuch mat do humko. But for your love, I am chanting your name. I feel happy just by chanting your name. So yajna, dana and tapa. Tapa means what you call doing some swadhyaya, studying the scriptures, controlling our senses, controlling our mind, meditating. So at the individual level, to integrate my personality, integrate my body, integrate my mind, integrate my senses, my intellect, whatever I do, that is the tapas. So tapas, dana, yajna. These are the three types of karmas mentioned, which everyone should do, whether they are Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, Vaishya, Shudra, young, old, Stri, Purush, doesn't matter. For everyone, Bhagwan says, Yajna dana tapak karma na tyajyam, should not be given up. And why we should do? Not to gain something, but just out of love for Bhagwan. I have love for him and he loves when I chant his name, so chant his name. He loves when I share my things with others, Bhagwan becomes happy, so share it with others. He loves when I am integrated and all my faculties becomes well integrated, so do it. So this is called niyata karma, which is given in the scriptures as a duty for everyone, without mentioning any result. See, there are some karmas where results are mentioned. ये करने से ये होता है, ये करने से ये होता है. Or even if the result are mentioned, we should not do it for that result's sake, but out of that love for God, not for gaining anything. So that is called niyata karma. One niyata karma as per the scriptures, and another niyata karma which we do is our daily duties, whatever according to our status in life, and our other duties are there towards our family, towards our society, towards our nation. All these are also niyata karma. We have to do because we have to do. Karyam itteva yat karma. कि कार्य करना ही है तो करो. रोज स्नान करना है तो करो. Not for gaining some certificate that he is a first class person, regularly he takes bath. Not for that. If we don't do, then there is problem. But if we do, there is nothing special given to us. So those type of action called niyata karma, without expectation, without having that craving, because we are with that faith we are doing that I am doing it for Bhagwan, and He is there to take care of me. To show that fear, to show anxiety in ourselves is like not trusting God. So having full trust in God, that if I have done my duties properly, He will take care of me. Why should I worry? So without worrying, without being anxious of the result, not that we should not have, if in the world we are doing our work at home or office and all, we have our goal in mind. But don't become anxious about it. Don't become worried about it. Just keep on doing what you have to do, and Bhagwan will take care of the results. So those type of actions are called niyata karma. Not kamya karma, not nishiddha karma, but niyata, nitya and naimittik karma. When we perform this nitya, niyatam kuru karmatvam, hey Arjuna, niyat karma karo, obligatory duties. Niyatam kuru karmatvam, karma jayo hi akarmanaha, because this karma is all time better than remaining without doing karma. Becoming lazy, dropping all your duties will not help you in progressing on this spiritual path. You have to perform karma. Karma alone will lead you to that state of enlightenment. Shve shve karmani abhiratah siddhim vindanti manavaha. अपने अपने कर्म में स्थित रहकर one can attain the ultimate goal. So niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jhayo yha karmanaha. See, all of us, depending on our gender, depending on our stage in life, depending on our swabhav, we are fit for a particular type of karma. So those type of karmas we should do. Then the very doing that karma itself gives us joy. If we do karmas for which we are not fit, while doing also there is tension, and otherwise also there is tension for others also. So if we do karmas, therefore those scriptures guide us into this swabhavik karma. कि हम हमारा स्वभाव के अनुसार when we do our karma, then it is sahaj, then it happens sahaj, and the karma itself gives us happiness. For example, the singers and all, if their swabhav is to sing and their aptitude and their whole nature is there, then just singing itself gives them joy. आप ताली बजाते हैं तो extra joy मिलता है, but otherwise, just singing itself gives them great joy. They just wait for an opportunity like, गाना गाऊं क्या? अरे बाबा अभी this is not the occasion. कोई बीमार है घर में, नहीं बीमारी के बारे में गाना है मेरे पास. People have songs for different occasions and they wait for that. Like some people want to become doctor, but they could not become, they became engineer. Then later on, after retirement, they study some books, especially homeopathy and all. Then they wait. देखते किसको खांसी हो रही है, किसको जुकाम है. Then they catch hold of that. I saw you, I heard you coughing and all. कि ये ले लो बेलाडोना, रोज 3 बार ले लो. But I don't want, I am fine. No, you take it. Next day they will call him and find out whether he is really taking or not. After few days they will ask for the shishi, कितनी आपने खाली की कि नहीं. So that is there within that, उसको outlet मिलना चाहिए, नहीं तो परेशानी हो जाती है. So we have to find out what is our nature, what is our gunas, predominant, sattva gun, rajogun, tamogun. Based on that, what am I? Am I a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? Then what is the stage in which I am Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanprastha, Sannyasi? Based on that, the scriptures guide us. But the general guidance, as I said, for everyone is Yajna, Dana, Tapak, Karma. कि रोज भगवान का नाम स्मरण करो, रोज you give some dana, and रोज you try to integrate your personality through proper studies, through other sadhana. This is 3 what you call duties we are doing for Ishvara. Then our daily duties and all we should do following the proper path of righteousness, to earn our money, to take care of our family, society, etc. So this is called niyata karma. So niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jhayo hya karmanaha. Hey Arjuna, karma is anytime better than becoming lazy or not doing any action. He says, Sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhed akarmanaha. That without doing karma, you will not be able to even maintain your body. Forget about anything else. Even to maintain the body, you have to perform karma. We cannot become lazy. If we become lazy, even to maintain the body will be difficult. One person wanted to find out who is the most lazy person in the world. He went in search of that. Then finally reached one village and he asked. The villagers said, yes, we have one very lazy person, extremely lazy. He said, oh, I want to see him. Where is he? He said, वहाँ जंगल में वो पेड़ के ऊपर सोया हुआ है. So he went, he saw he was sleeping on the tree. He said, but how can he be lazy? He at least climbed the tree. He said, no, he was sleeping on the ground. वो बीच पे सोया था, वो पेड़ बन गया. That is impossible. But if we are lazy, even to maintain the body is difficult. So sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhed akarmanaha. Without performing karma. See, very logically Bhagavan is going through. So first he said this twofold path is there, path of karma and path of knowledge. So first you follow the path of karma. By not doing action, by taking sannyas, you will not reach that state of enlightenment. First of all, you will not be able to stay without performing action. Prakriti will force you to act. And outwardly, if we try to force our senses to remain free from action, mind will keep on thinking about the objects, and that is mithyachar, that is hypocrisy, that will also not take you anywhere. Therefore, controlling your senses, you perform action. What type of action? Niyata karma. Okay, niyata karma I will perform. But how should I perform? That is now said in the next verse. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam. हाँ, यज्ञार्थात कर्मणोन्यत्र लोकोयम कर्म बंधनः. Bhagavan says, in this world, these people are bound by action. Then why are you making me act? He says, except one type of action. All other types of action, they bind us. Except one type of action. And what is that? Yajñartha. Those actions performed for the sake of yajna. Yajna is another name of Bhagwan. Yajna vai Vishnuhu. Ishvara. Means yajñartha means for the sake of Ishvara. Those karmas which are performed for the sake of Ishvara, slowly and steadily leads us towards liberation. And all other actions which are not dedicated to Ishvara, then of course they are dedicated to my own ego, dedicated to my own selfish something, they will lead to more and more bondage. So, yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. So, whatever karmas you are doing, your daily duties for your livelihood, plus this yajna dana tapak karma should be performed for the sake of Ishvara. कि मैं ईश्वर के लिए काम कर रहा हूँ. I am in the service of the Lord. And who is Ishvara? Ishvara is that supreme Brahma only, who is the creator of this world, who has got this Prakriti as his Shakti. Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. About Ishvara, Bhagavan himself will reveal in the 7th chapter, etc. So Ishvara is all pervading, master of this world, Sarva Shaktiman, Sarvajna, Sarvantaryami, Jagat Karta, Karma Phaladata, Jnana Phaladata. That is Ishvara. He takes avatar also, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. Whenever there is dharma glani, Bhagavan takes avatar. Where does he live? He lives in the heart of every being. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddeshe arjuna tishtati. But I don't see him. He said, yes, he is avyakta. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. Bhagavan is pervading everything, but avyakta hai. मन में प्रेम है तो दिखाई देता, प्रेम की आंखों से दिखाई देता है. हरि व्यापक सर्वत्र समाना, प्रेम ते प्रगट होई मैं जाना. प्रेम की आंखें से दिखाई देते हैं, सब जगह है, लेकिन अप्रगट है. इज अनमैनिफेस्ट, इज अनसीन, अदृश्य, बट एवरीवेयर, प्रेजेंट एवरीवेयर. So he is present in everything and in everyone. So it is very simple to serve Bhagwan. To serve Bhagwan, you can serve anyone, and you are serving Bhagwan. You take care of anyone, you are taking care of Bhagwan. But with the attitude that I am taking care of Bhagwan, with that rightful respect and reverence, we have to serve everyone. So all my actions should be dedicated to that Ishvara. Ki I am in the service of Ishvara. Ki he has employed me, he has given me this work, he has given me this body, he has given me this nature, he has given me this environment and the Shakti to work, so I am working for him. So Ishvara arpitam, yajñarthat. So yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Any other karmas, if we perform, if we are propelled by our desires, if we perform karmas to fulfill our own kamana, If we are propelled by our raga, dvesha, if we are propelled by our pride, then the actions are dedicated to pride. They are dedicated to my anger. They are dedicated to my greed. Yeah? So they are not considered as great. They will lead to more bondage. So I should perform action for Ishvara. There will be great joy. There will be great sense of peace. And total, what you call, the whole bhara is there on Ishvara only. Perform action for Ishvara doesn't mean we should not be aware, alert. उन्होंने जो कुछ भी काम दिया है उसको अच्छी तरह से पूरे अलर्टनेस से करना है. Like when Ramchandra ji went to the forest, Bharat ji took care of Ayodhya. But when he says that, okay, I am taking care of Ayodhya, he did not become lazy, or he did not become what you call inadvertent or something. With total alertness, he took care of Ayodhya. He increased the wealth, prosperity of Ayodhya. Not that ऐसे चुपचाप भगवान का स्मरण करते बैठे और जो कुछ भी होता है होने दो, ऐसा नहीं. With full attention, with full dedication, one should work. Like sometimes we work as volunteers somewhere. People think that if we are volunteers, we should not follow any discipline. वैसा नहीं होता है. You should follow all discipline. You should follow all the rules, regulations, and keep on working. Similarly, I am working for God. I should follow all rules and regulations. If my work involves fighting against certain adharma and all, I should fight also. Because that is also Bhagwan's work. If my work involves taking care of some organization, taking care of the family, we should do it properly. Many people, they misunderstand some of the statements, like karmanneva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You keep working, don't bother about the result, don't worry about the result. So if you don't get the result, chupchap mat beto. Ask that boss, हमारा result दे दो करके. Because that is also part of your duty. Because if you don't do that duty, somebody else will start doing adharma. So that is not proper. So it should be understood properly, holistically. So yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya. Therefore, he Kaunteya, he Kunti ke putra, tadartham, for the sake of yajna, means for the sake of Ishvara. Ishvara's name is Yajna. So for the sake of Ishvara, mukta sangas samachara, becoming totally free of all attachment, you work for him. Our Pujya Gurudev, when he is to write letters and all, is to sign at the end, in the service of the Lord. And then he will sign his name. He is to tell us that you work in this world as a seva of Bhagwan only. He is there present in everyone. He is there everywhere. So just do his seva. Just like when we go home, our own home, some work is there at home and all, we do it because अपना ही घर है, हमारे माता पिता है वहाँ पर. So we do whatever, even bathroom साफ करना है तो वो भी साफ करते हैं, किचन में काम करना है तो वो भी करते हैं, out of joy. Similarly, this is Bhagwan's home. We are all his children. He has given us this life, he has given us this body, and he has given us some work to do. So just do it for his joy, for his prasannata. He becomes happy. So tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara, remaining totally free of attachment. Don't get attached to the work, don't get attached to the result of action, don't get attached to things related to all this. Remaining free, you work. Mukta sangaha samachara. And how should I work? सम्यक आचर, अच्छी तरह से, फर्स्ट क्लास काम करो. Even if nobody appreciate, Bhagwan is there to appreciate. Nobody is seeing what you are doing, he is seeing. So it doesn't matter whether we get attention from the world or recognition or whatever, but Bhagwan is seeing it. So करो. जैसे दान भी कहते हैं कि एक हाथ से देते, दूसरे हाथ को भी पता नहीं चलना चाहिए. So Bhagwan knows. So one should keep on doing what is best, what is good. So Mukta Sangas Samachara. More we will see tomorrow. Now we will sit and meditate for 7 minutes and 55 seconds. So close your eyes. ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेर्जुन तिष्ठति. Ishvara is present in our heart. Ishvara is present in everyone's heart. Ishvara is supreme peace, that is the nature of Ishvara, supreme bliss, all knowing, all powerful, very compassionate, extremely forgiving. Whoever surrenders to him, he accepts. However sinful a person may be, however impure a person may be, when we approach Ishvara with proper faith, he accepts us and makes us clean, makes us free from all our sins, and gives us that state of liberation. The joy which you feel, unconditional joy, that is the expression of Ishvara. The peace which you experience within is expression of Ishvara. Surrender to that Ishvara. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata. You surrender to Ishvara. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।